All right, everybody. Hey, welcome to another video to help out beginners and solo players. This one is a bit more on the beginner side of things. I want to tell you guys how to make a build, and as easy as that may seem to somebody who's been playing the game for a while and who probably watches videos and um, has made bad builds and has made good builds, and they know the difference. Um, this video is probably not for you. This video is for people that they're not sure of things. They're not sure. They don't want to follow some YouTuber who tells them, a certain build is the demigod build, and they don't want to just copy and paste. They want to know how to make their own build, but still make a viable build even though it's their own. So basically, I'm gonna tell you things here, and I'm gonna try to be as orderly as I can in explaining this, and also try to make this as simple as I can. So let's start with the point guard position. Point guards this year can go up to 6'9", and for a beginner player, a 6'9" point guard is highly recommended. It's hard to play bad on a 6'9" point guard. A 6'8" is what I have in one of my builds, and I'm a big fan of the 6'8" point guard. More so than the 6'9" personally, but whichever you go for, it's great. Anything under like 6'5", you need to really know the game, not just to make a build, but to play the game. It's going to be tough for you in the park. It's going to be tough for you in the rec. So since we're trying to help beginner players here, let's try to make a 6'8". So it's not entirely, the easy way, but just to explain to you guys why this works. So right now, the height is at 6'8" because, as you can see, I can do everything, right? I can do pretty much everything that a point guard needs to do, and I have an insane height advantage. The reason I don't go for 6'9" is because of if you want speed with ball, you're going to have less speed with ball. If you want to shoot, it's going to affect your shot a little bit. Also, your speed and acceleration and stamina and all that. 6'9" is fine, but let's do 6'8" just for the purpose of the video. So your weight, as you can see, obviously changes your strength, but it also changes your speed and your acceleration and whatnot. Now, on my 6'8" that I have, I'm at 186. Why am I at 186? Because it's a nice cutoff. So I have it at that. It's not the skinniest it could be. It's also not the heaviest. It is on the skinnier side, but anywho, wingspan. Well, wingspan is how long your arms are, right? And this primarily affects your defense and your shooting, and it does also affect your finishing. You want to make sure, honestly, maybe you just want to be a finishing point guard that can pass, or you just want to be a shooting point guard that can pass. But the one thing you want to always be looking at is your physicals. You want to make sure you have enough stamina for later on, so you can put that in your build. So I'm pretty sure on my build, I went with something like this because I want 92 3-point, because I want the gold limitless badge, which means I can shoot from further away from the basket. So then the body shape, you pick whatever you want. I'll leave it as a default one. So now here is where a lot of mistakes happen. So what did I say about physicals? I said, worry about physicals. So when I do a build, especially as a beginner, leave your stamina at 90. You want 90 stamina at minimum. More recommended, especially for new players, maybe you want like a 95. You don't need 99. You don't but you don't want to be below 90, so I'm gonna put that right away at 90. And then after this, I go by specific attributes to the position I'm in. So because I'm a point guard, let's go into pass accuracy right away. Okay. So you can have it at 78. That's one of the like the minimums you can have it for a point guard. 78. Now, if you're gonna be playing a lot of rec and you love passing the ball and whatnot, then you go up to 86. Okay. You don't need to go above this in pass accuracy. You do not. Um, and the reason you don't is because I'm gonna show you this. So you see how it says 43 overall completed. All right. So if I go to 99, it's gonna go all the way to 55. And you don't want your overall to go up by so much that you can't, pick everything else that you want to do, right? So even though pass accuracy is only up to 96 because of my height and whatnot, we want to leave this at 86. Actually, yeah, we'll leave it at 86. We'll make a little different build from my actual build. My actual build has a 78. We'll leave it at 86, and you can see at 86, you get all the things a point guard should have, right? All the things. And you also have bailout and needle threader on gold, which is great. That is great. That's good enough. So we'll leave that at that. Now, the next thing is shooting, right? So a point guard should be able to pass. They should be able to shoot. And what did I say earlier? I wanted 92 for the gold limitless. So at this point, you're getting the grasp that, you pick the attributes that you need based on the badges that you want. And also based on how you want to play, right? So I saw this build on Reddit where they had the stamina like down here or something. And I'm going to tell you right now, if you're facing somebody and like they're a lockdown type of build where they're going to, be on you all the time, harassing you, your stamina is going to drain. And by the fourth quarter, you'll have like 50 stamina. You won't be able to speed boost, which is holding the sprint button essentially on your controller. You're gonna have a lot of problems, which is why you always go for 90 minimum. But for this build specifically, let's go up to a 95, and then we'll drop it down to 90 if we need to. Okay. So anyway, so that's at 92 because I want to be able to shoot well and have all my shooting badges. Now the mid-range, you'll notice there's one specific badge, the MIDI Magician, that requires you to have 81 for the Hall of Fame MIDI Magician. So my MIDI is at 81. I'm not gonna move it from there. Free throw, we'll leave it. We'll leave this for last. So next is driving dunk, right? So we want to be able to drive dunk. How much do you want to be able to is up to you. Because I'm 6'8", it's going to be a little easier for me. I don't need the crazy stats. So we'll leave it at 86. You can see there that that's all we need for gold limitless takeoff, which means you can start a dunk from farther away. And now, because we just did the dunk potential here, we want to go down to physicals and work on what helps the dunking. So vertical is going to help your dunking. Now, if I keep messing around with this, you're going to see that standing dunk and even defensive stats are going to go up. We don't need this to go, to a crazy number. We can leave it at 80 or even 85. Some dunk packages are going to require you to have some vertical number. So, for the purpose of the tutorial, we can leave this at like 82. Right? Let's say you don't really know the packages, whatever, but you want it to be, high. Right? If you're gonna have an 86 driving dunk, your vertical has to somewhat match. And then next, acceleration. Okay, because you're not gonna be fooling anybody if you're not running. And why is acceleration more important than speed? Because the courts are so small. The courts are so small, and acceleration usually will help you more than speed. It doesn't mean that you can leave speed at like 60 something, but it does mean that you can leave speed at 80 or even like 78. If your acceleration is above 80 and you're a point guard, this is okay. All right, now strength is the last thing. And you can see there, I've unlocked a few as the bully badge, which we're not going to use, but you can see like how helpful strength is. Now we're going to lower these because we don't want to, oh, I have to go fix that vertical in a little bit. All right, so speed helps with perimeter defense, so we are going to leave that at 78. And we'll bring the vertical back up to 82. Now, the build is looking pretty good. We want to get the close shot up a little bit. We want the driving layup a little bit more. Speed with ball. Obviously, we need this. And we need this for a certain badge. And that badge is quick first step. So you either get 89 ball handle, 89 ball handle, or 88 speed with ball. Well, 85 ball handle, not 89. I don't know why I said 89. So this is good enough for playmaking. We don't need to touch playmaking no more here. I do want to make sure that I probably messed something up on another stat, but we want this at 85 because you want handles for days on silver at minimum, and you want quick first step on gold. Killer combos on silver is also great. If you know what you're doing, then obviously gold or Hall of Fame is great. Also gold unpluckable, you always want that. So make sure you always have that in your builds, regardless of how you make them. Let's lower the block thing a little bit. No, okay, you need it for that. Gotcha. All right, so defense. I know you're a big point guard. You don't really need the defensive attributes if you know how to position yourself on the perimeter and you know how to position yourself, to stop back cuts and whatnot, whatever the defensive play you may be in. A lot of people don't need a high defensive rating at the guard build because most of the defensive situations are perimeter based, and position being great in position is all you really need. But one thing that's going to help you a lot with being great in position is having a high steal rating, and we'll increase the perimeter as well to like a 77 is fine. Let's lower this a little bit. There we go. So what did I just do here? Well, I got us silver glove. Okay, steals this in this year are crucial. They're important. They're easy to get if you know what you're doing, and they're even easier to get if you have interceptor and glove. Depends on how you play. If you like to go for reaches here and there, on the ball handler, glove is probably going to help you more than interceptor. Interceptor is more for tipping passes, intercepting passes, and glove is more for on ball. Folks, workhorse, I am a big proponent of this badge. I've been talking about this since the early days of 2K, where we didn't know exactly how good workhorse was, and I remember tweeting about it and showing that workhorse is actually an awesome badge to have. So make sure you use that, at least on silver. Off-ball pass is, maybe you have it on silver just because, right? So in terms of defense, because you're a 6'8" point guard, you don't really need more defense. Shooting, we don't really need more shooting. Playmaking, we don't really need more playmaking. So you can see we're at 98 overall now. So let's look into, maybe things we can increase to give us a few more badge points, maybe. Okay. So we can do something like that even. See, I have like mild OCD, and I wish I could have both at 75, but I can't. Oh, okay, maybe I can. And then free throw, get that to 70 just to even it up. And then strength, we get that to 67. Could be higher. It just depends on what you want to do, because I could leave this at 70, and then we can increase the strength up to 70 as well. And that gives us a box out silver badge, which, hey, maybe you want to be able to help on rebounds and whatnot, and you want to be able to box out. Silver box out is not too bad. So then you can do that, and then, if you're happy with the 73, that's fine. You get silver masher, which it's for standing layups and standing dunks. No, that's fast twitch. What am I saying? Masher is to finish well around the rim. That's right, especially over smaller defenders. Which if you're 6'8", it depends on the situation, right? Probably not going to use masher. But a build like this, okay, if you went into the rec or something, if you went into the park, this build is a good build, okay? It's not the best build on the planet. It's not the worst by all means. This is a good build, and it's going to help you. You're going to be able to play park. You're going to be able to play rec, and you should have no issues in terms of your stats, okay? In terms of your stats. And don't forget that these are the badges you can have, but then if you've been playing throughout the game, if you do the story, you're going to have like an extra 10 badges that you can, put wherever you want. For this build, you'd probably put more into finishing, because there's not enough finishing badges, and then maybe some more into shooting if you want to really, really be able to shoot like crazy. And then maybe a little bit into playmaking. I wouldn't put any more into defense just because you don't need any more. So that's how you make a point guard build. I mean, you never, especially with the physicals, like I've explained, you don't want acceleration, speed, and stamina to be too low. If you're gonna have any sort of finishing, you need strength and vertical. It doesn't have to be 90 plus, but you need some of it at least. And obviously, if you want to pass, you need pass accuracy, you need ball handle. If you want to defend, then you're probably going to need more, defensive attributes. But then that just means you're going to have less of other things. But this is a kind of point guard build that can do a little bit of everything. So now, let's look at a shooting guard build.